It is September 24th. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Uganda with me, Olive Monica Najuma, alongside Jerome Paul Sonko and Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono in Studio B. Now, the First Lady and also the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has advised stakeholders in a meeting that she was speaking at, and also parents at large, to advise young people to be confident and believe in themselves, saying that this would enable young women to not fall prey to predators that end up causing them to get pregnant at a rather young age. She says that many African children face many challenges as compared to their counterparts in other parts of the world. She said many young people need to ask themselves, why am I here? And who am I? And according to her, if they can answer this question, then their confidence would be built, and this would enable them not to be teenage mothers and be able to go to school and achieve their dreams and goals. I believe this is rather a timely message when it comes to young people, because when you look at young women and even when you look at reports that indicate the prevalence of HIV among young women and older men, it all begins with lack of self-confidence, all begins with the fact that many young women cannot take care of themselves on their own, and maybe they haven't been really guided pretty well by those that are supervising them, raising them, their guardians. So this message coming in from the Minister of Education and Sports is timely, if you ask me, especially now that the new school term has just begun, and just at the end of November or beginning of December, many young people are going to be at home in holidays and in vacation. And usually this is the time, because it's a lengthy period of time, this is usually the time when they fall prey to predators. Sometimes it's the people that live in their homes or in their neighborhood. Now, with that being said, I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday morning. I am having a good week already, and I'm hoping that it will even be much better going forward. Now, I would like to check on my colleagues and know how they are doing. I would like to first go to Studio B to see how Chirabo Robert is doing. Good morning.
I'm good, and I want to thank the grace of the Lord for the gift of life He has given me, He has given you watching us this morning, because there's nothing as precious as life. So in case you've woken up today and you feel everything is not fine, remember when you had COVID-19 and oxygen was so precious. So motivate yourself, cheer up. The fact that you're alive, have a positive mindset. I believe everything is going to be fine. Well, yesterday I was watching a part of court when I saw Nasan Huchire, who was arrested in Kenya, brought back to Uganda to face charges. Now, this socialite is commonly known as Don Nasa. And people are asking, why do these young men get this money very fast, very early, young as they are, and they seem to be owning a fortune? Now, what is interesting is that of late, if you committed an offense, if you're suspected to have committed an offense because he's innocent until proven guilty by a competent court. Now, running to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Interpol, I must say, the international police, working close to Uganda police, you may be brought back, because many have been brought back. And even in South Africa, those may not be very good areas for you to run to, because Interpol is very active, it seems, on the African continent. And I'm happy he's back, and we hope justice will prevail. In case he's guilty, yes, he dances to the tune of court.
You did mention that he's being brought back to face charges. Which charges?
That is human trafficking, and also there is aggravated defilement, a girl under age that is suspected to have had for some few days in one of his premises. So if he's found guilty, well, I think the maximum sentence there is death, or later that can turn into that is life imprisonment. But it's very unfortunate, and I'm getting disappointed over and over by these socialites. Sometimes certain things come up, you hear Sipapa facing charges of robbery, Brian White also had charges. I don't know why. At times they end in this manner.
Well, it goes back to the source of their money and the question you asked. Where do they get this much money? I remember one of Uganda's richest men and business mogul, Wavamuno, once queried, where do these young people get this money? Because I know how I got money and how long it took me to get this much money. But you see someone overnight is a multi-millionaire and you wonder where they got the money from. So probably we need to go back to the root of where the money is coming from. How are you, Jerome?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing fantastic. Robert has shared something about, the Nyaxo Saga. Surprisingly, for many of us who've been on social media, we were following a lot of what was happening with the case before it even hit the court. Because over the past 2 months, he was on a run. Many had predicted him to be in Asia for now. Others predicted him to be within the country and hiding. And at the same time, many were saying, if at all he's got, he might not survive. Because as much as these are cases that seem to be reported, firstly, some of those who have been close to his clique believe that maybe just like the Baganda say, but it does seem like there were other cases he has been indulging in, and not only him, but quite a number of people who are yet to be found. And of course, regarding your opener in regards to the confidence and why the young girls really need to be confident, looking at the victim in this case is a 16-year-old girl.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the teenagers, there are so many cases coming in from schools, and many schools and teachers are worried about how many older men are preying on these young ones. They are preying on the teenagers, and it's a big worry for the parents themselves, who are worried about what happens to their children while they're in school. But that said, there's a quote that I've read this morning coming in from the 48 Laws of Power. And the quote says that court attention at all costs. That whenever you are let's say you are in an area, make sure that you stand out. Because if at all you're unseen, there is no way you're going to attract attention, or there is no way you will be recognized. So meaning, if at all you're a young one out there and you're going into school, like you've mentioned, if we are to bridge the confidence in these young ones, that if at all there's an opportunity for you to show up, even in school, to present something, to tell the teacher and tell the class, your fellows, you need to show up.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Because the more you show up, the more you're recognized among other fellows.
That's right. Show up and show out. Now, for us in corporate, that means if you attend a meeting, make sure your voice is heard, but don't just speak. Make sure that you have quality. Don't be known for as someone who just speaks for lack of a better word. You should have quality. So endeavor to educate yourself. If I may add to what Sonka shared with us, endeavor to educate yourself, endeavor to become better than the person you were yesterday, so that people may always remember you for something and something great. Now, with that being said, 30 decomposing bodies have been found on a boat off the coast of Senegal. I'll be sharing more of that story in our international news, but for now, Robert Chirabo takes us through the local news stories.
Well, and what better story that I find interesting than the Don Nasa story? Nasa Nduhuchire was arrested from Kenya. The case is before Chief Magistrate Ronald Kaizi. He is charged with counts of aggravated trafficking and sexual exploitation of an underage girl. In parts of the charge sheet, Don Nasa Nduhuchire is accused of transporting a 16-year-old girl from Teregre apartments in Kamocha along Acacia Avenue and harboring her at his residence in Chitiko Zone in Chira Division for 4 days from the 23rd to the 27th May this very year. Don Nasa was not allowed to take plea since this court has no jurisdiction to hear the offense against him. Don Nasa, who is jointly charged with Atete Promise, a 19-year-old personal assistant to Ntungamo Municipality MP Yona Musinguzi, on the same offense, Her bail has been cancelled following amendment of the charges to aggravated trafficking and introduction of Don Nasa as the second accused person. Prosecution led by Joseph Chomuhendo told court that inquiries are complete and prayed of court to send the accused to High Court for a full trial. Presiding Magistrate Ronald Kaizi remanded the accused persons to Ruzira prison. Over the weekend, joint security operatives from Uganda and Kenya arrested Nasa and Huchire, also known as Don Nasa. Moving on, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, said Parliament will make sure that responsible government departments receive all necessary support required to fulfill Uganda's obligation in cooperation agreements signed during the 9th Forum on China-Africa Cooperation that took place in Beijing. Speaking during the meeting with a delegation of members of the Financial and Economic Committee of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, Tayebwa expressed the need to optimize benefits from the comprehensive cooperation partnerships with China. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has urged adults to encourage young people in their communities to be confident, believe in themselves, and know their worth in life. She believes this will help curb teenage pregnancies, reduce school dropouts, and enable young people to thrive. The First Lady made these remarks while addressing a stakeholders consultative meeting she hosted for leaders in Masaka region at Masaka State Lodge. Mrs. Museveni explained that sometimes it is lack of confidence that leads to teenage pregnancies. As soon as they encounter a man who seems to value them, or even one who just wants to use them, they give themselves away. While addressing a stakeholders consultative meeting hosted for leaders in Masaka region, the First Lady observed that African children face an additional challenge compared to youth in other parts of the world. She often grows up feeling looked down upon, ignored, and with little, if any, confidence. She emphasized the need for young people to reflect on questions like, who am I and why am I here? She stressed the importance of understanding that they are created in God's image and that God is always accessing them through prayer. Mrs. Museveni highlighted the crucial role of adults play in guiding young people to improve their lives and fulfill their purpose. And finally, from the local stories, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, says Parliament will make sure that responsible government departments, beg your pardon, the G77 plus China has demanded action during the summit for the future that is happening in the United Nations headquarters in New York. The Prime Minister, Robert Nabanja, who is attending the forum, presented the statement on behalf of the G77 plus China during plenary at the UN headquarters in New York on Sunday. Uganda is currently the chair of the G77 plus China, which is the largest intergovernmental organization of developing countries in the United Nations. The G77 plus China provides the means for countries of the South to articulate and promote their collective economic interests and hence their joint negotiating capacity on all major international economic issues within the United Nations system and promote South-South cooperation for development. While delivering the statement on behalf of the G77 plus China, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Robert Nabanja said the future will want and should be free from any oppression and free from any global inequalities and divides. Nabanja said that the G77 plus China has hopes and conviction that this pact should not become another futile exercise, but must garner political will and commitment across all levels of global leadership to ensure they address urgent issues that lay a fundamental for a solution for our future global progress and challenge. At the event, the Kenyan President Dr. William Ruto noted that multilateral systems are not giving the desired solutions for equitable development and demanded that Africa be given a permanent membership on the UN Security Committee.
Now moving on, at least 492 people have been killed in intense and wide-ranging Israeli airstrikes targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon, the country's health ministry says, in the deadliest day of conflict there in almost 20 years. Thousands of families have also fled their homes as the Israel military said it hit 1,300 Hezbollah targets in an operation to destroy infrastructure that the armed group had built up since the year 2006. Hezbollah, meanwhile, launched more than 200 rockets into northern Israel, according to the military. Paramedics said 2 people were injured by shrapnel. World powers have been urging restraint as both sides appear to be spiraling closer towards all-out war. Lebanon's health ministry says 35 children and 58 women were among the dead, while 1,645 others had been wounded. It did not report how many of the casualties were civilians or combatants. Health Minister Firas Abiad said thousands of families had also been displaced by the strikes. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed alarm at the escalating situation and said he did not want Lebanon to become another Gaza. European Union Foreign Affairs Chief Josep Borrell said the escalation is extremely dangerous and worrying ahead of a gathering of world leaders at the United Nations in New York, adding, quote, "We are almost in a full-fledged war," end quote. Moving on, the man accused in an apparent assassination attempt of former United States President Donald Trump at a golf course in Florida left behind a note saying he intended to kill the presidential candidate and kept in his car a handwritten list of dates and venues where Trump was to appear, the Department of Justice says. The new allegations were included in a detention memo filed before a hearing on Monday, at which Justice Department prosecutors alleged that the 58-year-old Ryan Routh should remain locked up as a flight risk and a threat to public safety. U.S. Magistrate Ryan McBee agreed, saying the weight of the evidence against the defendant is strong and ordered him to stay behind bars. Routh is so far facing 2 federal gun crime charges, including for possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. On Monday, federal prosecutors told the court that they would ask a grand jury in the coming days to also charge Routh with another crime, plotting to assassinate a political candidate. Now coming back to the African continent, at least 30 decomposing bodies have been found on a boat off the coast of Senegal, military authorities have reported. The Navy was informed of a vessel that was adrift about 70 kilometers, that is 45 miles, from the capital, Dakar, according to a military statement on X. They brought the wooden canoe or pirogue into port on Monday morning. Recovery, identification and transfer operations are being made extremely delicate by the advanced state of decomposition of the bodies, the statement said. There has been a recent increase in migrants setting off from Senegal for Spain's Canary Islands, a journey of more than 1,500 kilometers, which is about 950 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. Given how decomposed the bodies were, the migrants were probably adrift on the Atlantic Ocean for many days before fishermen found them. Investigations are underway to determine when and where the boat departed and how many people were on board, the army said. In August, at least 14 decomposing bodies believed to have been Senegalese migrants were found off the coast of the Dominican Republic by a local fisherman. Well, with that story, we come to the end of our international news. Now let's look at the press.
Well, with our press review, we start off with the New Vision because the ND has approved 300 herbal medicines. Unclear concoctions causing cancer. According to what the medics have highlighted, there is a list of the 300 herbal medicines that have been approved by the National Drug Authority. Now, that said, trafficking city's socialite has been charged. Pictorial of Don Nasa at the front page of the New Vision and his co-accused Promise Atete as they appeared before Uganda Road Court Chief Magistrate Ronald Kayizi on charges of aggravated trafficking in children and defilement. The two denied the charges and were subsequently remanded to Luzira prison until October 8th, 2024. Then also Matters Coffee, 13.9 billion shillings availed to register farmers. Details of that is with the New Vision on page 3. 114 Ugandans die of poisoning annually. A new report has revealed. Find details of that in the New Vision today, and more of the discussions are going to be following up here in our newsreel. Then there's a 16-page FDB, that is the African Development Bank supplement, which is in today's cover of the New Vision. Also, as Uganda is looking forward to celebrating 62 years of independence next month, how the British caused today's land problems. The New Vision gives you more of those series today. Now, that said, away from that, we now turn our focus onto the Daily Monitor. David versus Goliath, says the Daily Monitor. There is a pictorial of General Caleb Akandanwaho, also known as Salim Saleh, on the left side of the Daily Monitor. Then there is also General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, Chief of Defense Forces, being paired. And then Ms. Janet Museveni, First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, with Chiriowa Chiwanuka, the Attorney General, who are also paired at the front. Now, Government of Keen, the Daily Monitor highlights in between the lines. A lawsuit has been filed alleging that the appointment and the roles of 3 members of the First Family, including the First Lady and the Education Minister, the President's son and the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and the President's brother, General Salim Saleh, contravene various provisions of the Constitution, effectively turning Uganda into a feudal state run by a family enterprise. Now, Attorney General Chiriowa Chiwanuka, who has been listed as the 4th respondent, said the petitioner is not busy. The Daily Monitor gives you that report. Then in the Prosper magazine, how the EU rule will reshape the coffee sector. Find details in the Daily Monitor. Now, news: Karuma Bridge shutdown begins to burden the travelers. Find out more in the Daily Monitor. Also, Eastern region tops list in poisoning. New police report has revealed. And then in the Rainbow magazine, Banya Teresa celebrates Golden Jubilee. Away from that, the Daily Nation in Kenya, 720 million shillings jobs fraud suspect who was in Ruto Germany trip. Who is he? Thousands of jobless Kenyans still falling victim to fake recruiters, according to the Daily Nation. Now, testing the waters, what it will take to impeach Gachagua. Then also, we won't be called. Varsity staff vow to go on with pay strike. Then Mbadi says our 22 conditions for Adani Jomo Kenyatta International Airport deal. That is with the Daily Nation, as they also show you in the Healthy Nation, 20 miscarriages, 1 miracle. Find more with that. Now, lastly, from our press reviews, the Citizen newspaper, how police foiled planned opposition protests in Dar es Salaam. A heavy police presence in various parts of the city deters opposition supporters from holding protest marches announced by Chadema. Then 3 charged with murder and freed after 6 years behind bars, as Samia calls for more emphasis on cultural tourism. Then also in matters aviation, Songea Airport set to operate around the clock. And that does it for our press review this morning.
Now, as we take a short break, we will leave you with We Bless by Sinach featuring Travis Green. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Charges. Now, this socialite is commonly known as Don Nasa. And people are asking, where do these young men get this money very fast? Very early, young as they are, and they seem to be owning a fortune. Now, what is interesting is that of late, if you committed an offense, if you're suspected to have committed an offense because he's innocent until proven guilty by a competent court. Now, running to Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Interpol, I must say, the international police, working close to Uganda police, you may be brought back because many have been brought back. And even in South Africa, those may not be very good areas for you to run to because Interpol is very active, it seems, on the African continent. And I'm happy he's back, and we hope justice will prevail. In case he's guilty, yes, he dances to the tune of court.
He did mention that he's being brought back to face charges. Which charges?
That is human trafficking, and also there is aggravated defilement, a girl under age that is suspected to have had for some few days in one of his premises. So if he's found guilty, well, I think the maximum sentence there is death, or later that can turn into life imprisonment. But it's very unfortunate, and I'm getting disappointed over and over by these socialites. Sometimes certain things come up, you hear Sipapa facing charges of robbery, Brian White also had charges. I don't know why. At times they end in this manner.
Well, it goes back to the source of their money and the question you asked. Where do they get this much money? I remember one of Uganda's richest men and business mogul, Wavamuno, once queried, where do these young people get this money? Because I know how I got money and how long it took me to get this much money. But you see someone overnight is a multi-millionaire, and you wonder where they got the money from. So probably we need to go back to the root of where the money is coming from. How are you, Jerome?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing fantastic. Robert has shared something about, the Don Nasa saga. Surprisingly, for many of us who've been on social media, we were following a lot of what was happening with the case before it even hit the court. Because over the past 2 months, he was on a run. Many had predicted him to be in Asia for now. Others predicted him to be within the country and hiding. And at the same time, many were saying, if at all he's got, he might not survive. Because as much as these are cases that seem to be reported, firstly, some of those who have been close to his clique believe that maybe just like the Baganda say, but it does seem like there were other cases he has been indulging in, and not only him, but quite a number of people who are yet to be found. And of course, regarding your opener in regards to the confidence and why the young girls really need to be confident, looking at the victim in this case is a 16-year-old girl.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the teenagers, there are so many cases coming in from schools, and many schools and teachers are worried about how many older men are preying on these young ones. They are preying on the teenagers, and it's a big worry for the parents themselves, who are worried about what happens to their children while they're in school. But that said, there's a quote that I've read this morning coming in from the 48 Laws of Power. And the quote says that court attention at all costs. That whenever you are let's say you are in an area, make sure that you stand out. Because if at all you're unseen, there is no way you're going to attract attention, or there is no way you will be recognized. So meaning, if at all you're a young one out there and you're going into school, like you've mentioned, if we are to bridge the confidence in these young ones, is that if at all there's an opportunity for you to show up, even in school, to present something, you know, to tell the teacher and tell the class, your fellows, you need to show up.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Because the more you show up, the more you're recognized among other fellows.
That's right. Show up and show out. Now, for us in corporate, that means if you attend a meeting, make sure your voice is heard, but don't just speak. Make sure that you have quality. Don't be known for as someone who just speaks for lack of a better word. You should have quality. So endeavor to educate yourself. If I may add to what Sonka shared with us, endeavor to educate yourself, endeavor to become better than the person you were yesterday, so that people may always remember you for something and something great. Now, with that being said, 30 decomposing bodies have been found on a boat off the coast of Senegal. I'll be sharing more of that story in our international news, but for now, Robert Chirabo takes us through the local news stories.
Well, and what better story that I find interesting than the Don Nasa story? Nasa Nduhuchire was arrested from Kenya. The case is before Chief Magistrate Ronald Kaizi. He is charged with counts of aggravated trafficking and sexual exploitation of an underage girl. In parts of the charge sheet, Don Nasa Nduhuchire is accused of transporting a 16-year-old girl from Teregre apartments in Kamocha along Acacia Avenue and harboring her at his residence in Chitiko Zone in Chira Division for 4 days from the 23rd to the 27th May this very year. Don Nasa was not allowed to take plea since this court has no jurisdiction to hear the offense against him. Don Nasa, who is jointly charged with Atete Promise, a 19-year-old personal assistant to Ntungamo Municipality MP Yona Musinguzi, on the same offense. Her bail has been cancelled following amendment of the charges to aggravated trafficking and introduction of Don Nasa as the second accused person. Prosecution led by Joseph Chomuhendo told court that inquiries are complete and prayed of court to send the accused to High Court for a full trial. Presiding
of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it's time for our news brill. I'm Olive Monica Najima. Good morning and thank you for sticking with us. It's important to us that you start the day with us every single morning from 6:30 up until this minute, but we are going on up until 9 a.m. Now, today, I would like for us to look at something that we most likely have in our homes. I mean, it's partly the reason why you can watch us today, and that is hydropower electricity. Now, on the Nile River lies a symbol of progress for the country, and that is the Karuma hydropower project. A lot has been said about this project, but today we delve into the conversation regarding the same and would like to know how unique is this project vis-a-vis others, and how does it make Uganda progress from one place to another. And to have this conversation with me is Enoch Kusasira, who is the head of communication and corporate affairs at Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited. And my name is Olive Monica Najima. You're welcome, Enoch.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You? I am great.
Yes.
And we are happy that we have the power
Thank you. Did you charge your phone?
I charged my phone.
Did you earn your address?
I did.
Exactly, that's what you're talking about.
And because of that, I am here.
Yeah.
And because of what you do,
yeah.
we lights are on. We are broadcasting live from Nile Avenue.
And the person you are hosting is high voltage. You don't touch. Kabi danger hatari.
Kabi danger.
Kabi danger
Don't come close. Anyway, Enoch, first of all, what makes Karuma hydropower plant stand out compared to other plants in Uganda or even on the African continent?
First and foremost, it is the biggest plant in Uganda, 600 megawatts. The loan that we used to construct Karuma is the biggest loan the country has ever taken, $1.7 billion. The technology used is very different. It is an underground plant. Of course, it is the only underground plant in Uganda. It is the only underground plant in the region meaning East Africa, in Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, South Sudan, as East Africa stands today. And of course, it is the 14th underground plant in the whole world. Underground in the sense that during the construction process, there was less tampering with the environment. Most of the machines, most of the machine work is under the ground. The tunneling, the shafts, most of the 90% of the activity is underground, and that saves the environment. Remember, the plant itself is in the national park. So if everything was to be on the surface, we definitely would have tampered with the flora and fauna of Nyaxo Falls. So it saves the environment, and all the transformers, the engines that would have been on the surface, all those are underground. We did a tunnel work of about 8 kilometers underground from where the plant is up 8 kilometers inside the national park. We diverted the river in 6 tunnels, and then that water, after generating electricity, it rejoins the river. Underground, 8 kilometers. So that is how unique it is. The primary objective was to save the environment. And all the parts of the environment that were affected during construction have been restored. So all your snakes, crocodiles, they are there as they used to be. So that is how unique this plant is.
Okay.
But most important,
yes,
it is the biggest plant, and it ensures that we have energy security as a country.
Energy security as a country.
Yeah.
Now, Uganda has the vision of becoming a middle-income country by 2040. How does the hydropower plant in Karuma play into this vision?
Thank you so much. When you add the 600 megawatts on what we have been generating, it simply means that our generation capacity has increased by 46%. Plus Karuma, we will now be having about 2,200 megawatts. This is very good. It is a launching pad for our big agenda of massive industrialization and, of course, socio-economic transformation. So when you see all these industrial parks coming up in Namamve, in Nakasongora, all that industrial work needs power. And so Karuma is the right step in the right direction. But also, it sets us on our ambitious journey of 52,000 megawatts by 2040. So this is just a starting point. We have just taken off. We need more plants, we need more power. And of course now, having developed Karuma, it means that we have capacity, we have built capacity to develop other projects. We could think about other projects, Ayago, Kiba, and others, even nuclear. Of course, I know there is a lot of proliferation of solar, but you see, solar has got its own challenges. It is very active during the day, but at night, does it remain active? But this hydropower on River Nile, whether the rains are there or not, because of the technology of building a reservoir behind the plant, electricity is on 24 hours. Yeah.
Now, you have been there working with the Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited. I believe you've been there. What has been your personal experience when it comes to the hydropower project? And also, since you work with the company that brings us this project, what have been the main challenges and successes?
This project was very complex, like all projects are of this nature. We had our highs and lows. There were the high moments and the low moments. The low moments were those when we had protracted discussions with the contractor regarding non-conformities. You promised to do this, now have done this, but all that was meant to deliver good work for the country. The high moment was when we synchronized, when we added the first generating unit on the national grid. That was very exciting, and it gave us a big glimmer of hope that the rest of the units were going to be added on the grid. It calls for patience, it calls for diligence, seriousness, and at some point it calls for patriotism, doing the best for your country.
Yes.
Doing the best for your country. It calls for detailed negotiation. It calls for diplomatic approach, but at some point also there's a bit of fighting. So it was a very complex process,
Yes.
and with this you can develop any other project at any other time. Yes. So it had its highs and lows, but the most exciting outcome is that on 26 we are going to have the political commissioning of the entire plant. All the 6 generating units have been successfully tested on the grid, and we can assure you that they are on and working.
Okay. Now, the project increases Uganda's generation capacity to 2,200 megawatts, right? And this exceeds the peak demand of 900 megawatts. So how does the country plan to ensure optimal utilization of this surplus energy?
First and foremost, we must make sure as a country that we increase our industrialization agenda. This power should not go to waste. We need to think of cottage industries at home. What do you do with your electricity at home? What do you do? Is it only for lighting,
For most
ironing?
people, it's lights, ironing, TV.
But we can think of making cheese. The country has a bigger agenda for industrialization. All these industries that are coming up will consume this power. But also remember that we actually export power to our neighboring countries.
Okay.
So this is very good. We could do more so that we become a beacon of hope in as far as energy security for the region is concerned. South Sudan is asking us for more than 100 megawatts. So this is the right step again in the right direction. And of course, our big agenda of socio-economic transformation can only be successful when we are sure about our energy security. So we need to do more so that this power does not go to waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there is the power not going to waste, but also there is efficient supply. So how are you ensuring that Ugandans efficiently receive this power, that there is equal distribution of this power across the entire country? Are there regions that are still not on the electricity grid?
I think what government needs to do together with the private sector is to do commensurate developments in the transmission and distribution network. You may have all these plants, but what is the distribution network? You must have seen that the only region that was not on the grid just last month, maybe 1.5 months ago, was added on the grid, and that is West Nile. The president was there to commission the substation in Nebi. We have the Orio substation that will be serving part of West Nile. Then we have another one in Lida. So all parts of the country now, the rest being West Nile, are on the national grid. So yeah, we are all on the national grid now.
We are all on the national grid. So
but what I want to emphasize is that we should do more projects in transmission and distribution. You might generate all this electricity, but is there a transformer near your village?
And that's the question I was going to ask, because yes, it's one thing for all of us to be on the
so
electricity
that's why I said that we need to do commensurate developments in the transmission and distribution capacity of the country.
And how about the systems and policies to ensure that we prevent energy losses during transmission? Do we have those?
Yeah, we have very vibrant policies. Is the energy policy.
Are they working?
They are working.
We could be having them on paper.
We have very vibrant leadership
at
the ministry under the able leadership of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The policies are working. We are just on the right journey. The policies are vibrant. We now have in place what they call, we got a loan from World Bank of about $400 million. Electricity access scale-up program. So all the major trading centers and towns all over the country are going to be connected on the grid under that facility. So these are the programs that you're talking about. You can see that they are working.
Okay.
Yes. And you can see that we are moving from there was a time when UEB was called Enzikiza, Uganda Enzikiza Board.
Wow. Why?
That time.
The time of load shedding.
The reason the country decided to take these massive loans to put up these infrastructures was because we were not moving anywhere in terms of industrialization. Even lighting at home was a problem.
That's true. I remember.
There was a time when you were in secondary probably or primary when we were always in a blackout.
When we would know that if we have it on Monday, we don't have it on Tuesday. If we have it on Tuesday, we don't have it on Wednesday.
So you can see a progressive journey of transformation in terms of electricity infrastructure. And that has a spillover effect on the rate at which the country is developing, the rate of industrialization.
Okay. So now looking ahead, because there is now, but the future is bright. The future is electricity, for lack of a better word. How do you see the Karuma hydropower project playing into the economic development of Uganda, into the economic development of Ugandans themselves, to mention but a few?
As I said at the beginning, the addition of 600 megawatts on our national grid is just a launching pad for our ambitious plan of the 52,000 megawatts by 2040. This now sets us on a journey. We are not supposed to sit in a comfort corner and relax and celebrate. No. We are now supposed to move ahead and work on other projects.
Yes.
The country is just taking off. We need more investors here. We need more industries to create more jobs for our young graduates. We can only do this when we have reliable power, when we can safely generate power and it is available at all times, and we need to increase our generation capacity. We have set a plan of 2040, 52,000 megawatts.
2040.
So tewali kuzikiza. We are just working.
Yes.
So Karuma hydropower plant is just a step in that big direction. We are not stopping, we are not sleeping. We are only there on 26th to politically commission the plant, but we set on a more ambitious plan for 52,000 megawatts.
All right. Now I have a message coming through from B.A. Bishobwe, and he says, big thanks, Mr. Enoch and the team. We are proud of you. So I believe that people from Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited are watching. And then please leave your name and where you are texting from so that we know who we are speaking to. But this other message says, I hear, but why is it that the cost of electricity is too high in Uganda compared to the rest of East Africa, especially with the recent Yaka meter reader. You can join the conversation through WhatsApp number 0709-602592. You can ask Mr. Enoch here any question that you may have or clarification that you need. Now, going back to this question, this viewer is asking why, despite all this development and generation of electricity, we said it's 2,200 megawatts compared to the need of 900 megawatts. Why is our electricity still very expensive? Yet, when you compare it to the countries we export it to, theirs could be cheaper.
I cannot state with certainty that that is very true, but in one of our local languages, there's a proverb that I will loosely translate in English, that if you are from underground, you cannot say that this sunshine is not enough. You understand?
Yes.
Underground, there's no flicker of light. But when you're on the surface, you cannot say, this sunshine is not enough, I'm still feeling cold. So we are from far. We are from far. But the more power we generate, the more projects we bring on board, the less the tariff. Of course, you should know that some plants are more expensive than others. There are plants which are expensive. If you're talking about Namamve, which is a security plant, the cost of producing electricity at Namamve is high because it is a fuel plant. So the tariff for that plant will be high. But these hydropower plants, minus Bujagari, the rest, they are affordable. And the situation will keep getting better as we develop more projects. The president has been very deliberate, and he has never minced words when it comes to the tariff. He wants the tariff low for all customers. So the intention is there, and it is good. I am not very sure, I'm not very armed with statistics of head now, that we are more expensive than other countries we export power to. We can always verify that and continue the conversation on our platforms, social media platforms.
All right. You did say that we need more hydropower projects to come. Are there any projects that are under works or coming on board anytime soon?
Yeah, I think there are projects which are underway. I may not talk about them now. The day you are lucky to host Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa here, you will just swim in the flood of information. But many more are coming. We are even working on a project for floating solar. Like you see, like that plant we have in Isimba, that at the reservoir there, you can put solar panels, generate power and put it on the grid. So we are exploring all the possible alternatives. It is called energy mix.
Energy mix.
Energy mix. So, but energy must be clean. We are trying to stop the culture of tampering with the environment. Imagine
so
how much firewood your grandmother used and how many trees she cut to cook for you throughout primary, secondary. So all that was tampering with the environment. So we are very intentional about clean energy.
Clean energy. And Enoch, any last thoughts regarding the Karuma hydropower project and what Ugandans should be excited about as far as the electricity supply in this country is concerned?
The final comment is that we are very happy that we have come to the end of the long tunnel. We had a protracted construction process of 11 years. It was not easy. But on 26th, just tomorrow but 26 September, His Excellency the President will preside over the political commissioning of Karuma Hydro power plant, 600 megawatts. It is the biggest plant. It is the biggest one we have ever taken as a country. It is a very big thing for the country, and we are glad that we have delivered this. We pray that we have all the support from Ugandans so that we can bring on board more projects. we need a country that has secure power. That is when we can develop.
All right, we'll end with a comment coming in from, he's asking for your contact. I don't know if Enoch is okay sharing his contact.
You are my public servant.
All right.
Yeah.
It's Kyagulanyi Charles is asking for your contact.
0772 46 26 37.
All right.
And since I'm an essential worker, sometimes it is toll free.
It is. Oh, interesting. Well, we have been speaking about the Karuma hydropower project that is going to be commissioned by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on the 26th, right? On the 26th of September 2024. Yes, Uganda is aiming for the big stuff, and what way to do it than to start with our power. Of course, we've come a long way. Children today may not really understand what we mean by load shedding of those days, but personally, I can attest the country has come really.
No, there are so many. Most of the people born after 1990, they know nothing about the kerosene lamp.
Oh yes.
No, but not just that lamp. There was also a katodoba.
Yes. The Tadoba.
So many Ugandans don't know about it.
That's right. That's
especially
right.
those born maybe after 2000.
Maybe
after 2000.
2000.
Those
that's
are
right.
what? Those are Generation Z.
Yes, the Generation Z.
The Generation Z.
Yes.
They don't know about Katodoba. They don't know about
so
it.
It's been a long way from Tadoba to the lamp to now hydropower, consistent hydropower supply.
Primary 1 up to senior 4. And you see power when you're in HSC.
When you go to boarding school.
When you go to boarding school, yeah.
And okay, I have to let you go.
That is where we have come from.
I have to let you go.
Thank you
but
so
yes, we have come from first. So well done. Good job that you have done at Uganda. Yes, and it's been a pleasure having you, and it's a pleasure for us as a country to have consistent power supply, because this speaks to industrialization and personal growth on individual levels. Now, Good Morning Uganda continues.
It's called available and reliable.
Available and reliable.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what else is available and reliable? That is the tourism updates from Irene Allen Namisango, which is coming up next.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Semuliki National Park is one of those beautiful games that are not given a lot of attention. Yet amidst the beautiful tree species that we have here, the number of primate species that we have here, some that are even endangered to this national park. When you talk about the landscapes are immensely beautiful, but the park has not been given attention as that it deserves. So today we explore the beautiful games that are in this national park. However, one of the commonest highlights of this destination has been the Sempaya Hot Springs. This is a starter destination. Almost everyone who has thought about exploring Uganda, every tourist has thought about traveling around Uganda. This has been one of the commonest attractions that they've been to. However, they've not even gone to other places or known what is really happening in this place. But we take you through the Sempaya Hot Springs and basically the male hot springs, because these hot springs are very gender sensitive. There is the female and also the male hot spring, and there is a very beautiful cultural story behind these hot springs that you need. I mean, it's the geographical formations that we have, the volcanicity, the fault lines, faulting. There are also a cultural story that is very beautiful that you need to listen. This is the GM Tourism Express with Irene Allen Namisang, and we take you through Semuliki Valley National Park.
So welcome to the male hot springs. We are aware that the Sempaya Hot Springs exists into male and female. It is gender sensitive, and at this location is the site for the male hot springs. And now what's interesting that male hot spring is in a pool like Crater Lake, where water constantly boils. And I can assure you it is the hottest environment around the hot springs. The highest temperature ever recorded here went up to 106 degrees Celsius. These temperatures vary, 106 degrees Celsius. And that is very, very hot. And that's why you see here, we realize that the female hot springs will allow people to, freely boil food. It's easier for people to interact more at the other side. Here you can't boil the food, because accessing the spring water means that you walk on this small layer. I can assure you don't get deceived that that layer you are seeing is very strong. It forms as the water comes from the ground with a lot of minerals and continues cooling down, forming that layer. So that means that it is deceptive. If you walk on it and your weight is, you are heavy, that small layer breaks, because it is just mere calcium phosphate. So it will break down and then you will end up getting burnt. So always when you're near hot springs, take a lot of caution. Two, there's a lot of algae. You see shades of different colors, green, brown, yellow, and the like. That is very slippery. Always avoid stepping there, because you slide and you get burnt. So at the male hot springs, we only enjoy viewing, taking photographs, but we do not boil food here. But then you see that white stuff? What do you think it could be? This is salt trying to accumulate. Real salt, because the water from the hot springs is highly mineralized, and one of the minerals there is sodium chloride. That is the real typical salt. And once you pick it, you test it. We'll do this at the female hot springs where we are able to access it. For Ugandans who have not been here, this site for the male hot springs. The hot springs are gender sensitive, they're both female and male. But where we are is the male hot springs. Reasons why? The stories here are legendary, that we have one clan called the Bamaga. The Bamaga are close to Bamaga campsite. It's the only community that is near the park here in Sempaya. And these guys believe that this site is for the ancestors. How did it come? There was a lady and a group of females who had gone collecting firewood in the neighborhood. Now, when they were collecting firewood, they reported a person they saw, a male, who was moving in a zigzag form in the forest. They couldn't know why. And then what they did, they went and they reported home and said, we have found a person who we could not identify. Now, when their men came, their husbands, indeed they found a guy who they couldn't identify in the forest and is moving in a funny way. So they talked to him and they took him home. They gave him accommodation, gave him food, and he stayed with them. They got to learn that this man was a hunter, and then he continued with his hunting spree all the time. Unfortunately, in one day, this guy never returned back home. They waited and waited, they couldn't find this man, couldn't come back. So what happened, people decided to go for a search. And when the Bamaga moved around and searched the area, they couldn't find the guy. They moved again a second day, moved. What happened that in this area here, they found his spear. And they found some of the rags, the clothes he used to put on. And they went and informed the wife and said, we found the remains, parts of the husband, the clothes, and then the spear he uses for hunting. And then those guys felt this should be the place where this man has disappeared from. And because there was an associated feature here, they said this is a male hot spring where the male disappeared from. Now, in the same vein, as they looked for this man, of course the lady, the wife, was also involved. And before they named this, they looked around when the lady was still looking for the husband. The husband couldn't be seen at that time. And then, unfortunately, we don't know what happened at the time. The lady also, they found her remains, parts of her body, and the piece of the stick, and her clothes on the other side alone. So when these guys sat, they said, maybe our ancestors have taken these guys. And therefore, where the lady has disappeared from, they named it a female hot spring, and where the man disappeared from, they named it a male hot spring.
We'll be back from the GMU Tourism Express. It's now time for us to check into the world of business. I am Jerome Paul Sonko. Now, that said, we start off with our very first report coming in from the Uganda Revenue Authority, as the Uganda Revenue Authority is on the verge of increasing and widening Uganda's tax base. And with that effort, more of that has been pushed to the Catholic Church, because now the Uganda Revenue Authority has called upon the Catholic Church to deepen the tax education among Ugandans in order to ensure that they widen the country's tax base. The Commissioner General Rujoki John Musinguzi made the appeal during his visit to the Archbishop's residence in Rubaga. The visit also served to affirm URA's readiness for a 5-year partnership. In the 2024-2025 financial year, the Uganda Revenue Authority is tasked to collect 32 trillion Ugandan shillings out of the 72.1 trillion national budget, or the 32 trillion Ugandan shillings is to finance the 72 trillion national budget. With the reduced foreign support, URA will need to rely more on domestic taxes to meet this 32 trillion target. The Commissioner General Musinguzi highlighted that the Catholic Church is a strategic partner in tax education, which could increase civic engagement in tax payment and compliance. Now, the Archbishop Paul Semogere said the church will support tax education, but emphasized the need for tax implementers to ensure that the collected funds are utilized to the benefit of the taxpayer. Now, meanwhile, the Uganda Revenue Authority has entered a 5-year partnership with the Nsambia Babies Home to lead a fundraising initiative for abandoned and neglected children. Now, this partnership will be launched with a charity walk that will be scheduled for this Saturday, the 28th of September. Now, away from matters taxation, we turn our focus on the China-Africa Summit agreements because Parliament has pledged commitment to fulfill the cooperation agreements that were signed and sealed. The Deputy Speaker to Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, revealed that Parliament will make sure that the responsible government departments receive all the necessary support required to fulfill Uganda's obligations in cooperation agreements signed during the 9th Forum on China-Africa Cooperation that took place in Beijing. Now, speaking during a meeting with a delegation of members of the Financial and Economic Committee of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, Tayebwa expressed the need to optimize benefits from the comprehensive cooperative partnership that China has had with Uganda over the years. Now, the People's Republic of China, led by their chairman Zongshan, paid a courtesy call to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Thomas Tayebwa. Now, also their visit follows a delegation of Ugandan members of Parliament led by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa's last month visit to China to attend the 40th anniversary of the National People's Congress. Now, China's economic growth has contributed 30% to the world economic growth, and Zongshan, the head of the delegation, expressed the need to further deepen the exchange between Uganda and China. And of course, Henry Musasizi, the State Minister for Finance in charge of general duties, further thanked the Chinese for their cooperation with Uganda and of course their friendship and all the different projects that China has worked on here in the country. Now, still on matters China, but this time around focusing on coffee, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority's latest report has revealed that China is now among the top 20 destinations for Ugandan coffee. The UCDA report reveals that the export to China surged fivefold in August compared to the previous month of July, according to the report by the Uganda Coffee Development Authority. The latest report, which was released on Monday, revealed that coffee exports to China increased from 2,100 bags in July to 11,580 bags in August. Now, Uganda's coffee exports to China are on the rise, showcasing the growing appreciation for high quality beans that are coming in from Uganda, according to the same report. Now, Judith Nsababera, Uganda's Consul General in Guangzhou, China, told Zinshuao by phone that the dramatic increase in exports is the result of strong bilateral relations, an effective marketing strategy, and the improved coffee quality coming in from Uganda. Now, Uganda, along with the Chinese city of Xiamen, is set to host a coffee expo in November, according to Sababera, and the UCDA's report also highlighted that China is now among the top 20 destinations for Ugandan coffee. Now, overall, Uganda's coffee exports earned 1.35 billion US dollars in the year between September 2023 to August 2024. Now, that's a total of 837,915 60 kilobags of coffee, which were valued at 221.63 million US dollars, which were actually exported altogether in August, including to key markets in Europe and America. Now, the European Union, the EU, is taking up 60% of Ugandan coffee. Now, UCDA is currently on a countrywide drive to also register farmers to meet the new export regulations to the European Union. They have recently got support from the Buganda Kingdom and the Inter-Religious Council of Uganda with this particular countrywide drive. Now, the new European Union deforestation regulation, that is the EUDR, is a law that requires all countries to trace each kilogram of coffee exported to the EU back to the producer. Now, this regulation seeks to ensure that the oil palm, soy, wood, cocoa, coffee, then cattle, rubber, and associated products imported, exported, and traded with the European Union are not associated with deforestation and forest degradation. Now, in order to comply with the European Union Deforestation Regulation, or the EUDR, the Uganda, the coffee sector and the Uganda Coffee Development Authority is in the final stages of rolling out a countrywide coffee value chain registration exercise, which will form the basis for coffee traceability, and this will require the registration of all coffee plots across the country. Now, these enumerators that will be doing the entire country wide drive will visit all farms, recording a minimum set of data required for the European Union Deforestation Regulation compliance verification. This also includes geolocations of coffee plots, and UCDA further revealed that it is to ensure the success of the registration exercise. They need full cooperation of industry players, cultural, religious, administrative, and political leaders. Now, this, according to the experts, will help address any suspicion or resistance among the coffee farming and trading constituency. Now, UCDA has also said that it's crucial that any expansion of coffee cultivation is done in compliance with the EUDR, ensuring that new plantations are not established by cutting down natural or plantation forest. Well, now that said, we turn our focus on the forex market to see how the Ugandan shilling has been faring on the exchange against other currencies. Close of business Monday, the 23rd of September. The US dollar was buying at 3,694.68 an opening time, while selling was 3,704.68. By midday, the US dollar was buying at 3,690.95, while selling was 3,795. The closing time saw the US dollar buy at 3,691.68, while selling with 3,701.68. The Great Britain pound was buying at 4,915.47, while selling at 4,928.79. The euro was buying at 4,121.02, while selling at 4,132.19. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 28.62, while selling at 28.70. The Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.35, while selling at 1.36. The South African rand, lastly, was buying at 212.22, while selling at 212.79. These exchange rates are updated 3 times daily. Now, those figures are courtesy of the central bank here in Uganda. Well, the 24th of September is usually the same date when the country of Guinea-Bissau celebrates her independence. It's been 51 years since the country got independence. On the 10th of September 1973, Guinea-Bissau formally recognized independence, but it was then unilaterally recognized on the 24th of September, meaning it is being celebrated annually and also a public holiday in September. Now, the fun fact is the current president, His Excellency Imbalo, is a man who was born a year before Guinea-Bissau got independence. That was on the 23rd of September 1972. He came to power in 2020. He's been ruling for 4 years, meaning he has celebrated his 52nd birthday yesterday. And today, the nation celebrates 51 years. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. I'll be back tomorrow with the latest from the world of business. But for now, Olive Monica Najuma is here with the traffic updates. Stick around. Good morning.
Good morning. It's time for traffic updates. I'm Olive Monica Najuma. We start off from the heart of Chisasi, and we look at the traffic situation around here now at the traffic lights in Chisasi. I see a bit of traffic jam coming through from Kulambiro Ring Road, joining the main trading center in Chisasi. Now following the Chisasi Chanja Road, also on Tinda Chisasi Road, I see that we have smooth flow of traffic. You may experience a bit of traffic jam right at the roundabout, and I think that's because of the traffic lights that are there. Now crossing over after the Northern Bypass roundabout going to Ntinda side, I see that there is a stretch of traffic jam over here, but those continuing with the bypass, there is a smooth flow of traffic. I see that Chisota Road has a bit of traffic jam, as you can see by that red zone going Chisota Road side. There is a bit of traffic jam. Now following the Ntinda Chisasi Road, Magambo Road is smooth. Many people use this as an alternate route to avoid traffic jam on the main road. Now following this route, I see that at the start we have smooth flow of traffic, but now when you follow it, especially around the corner that has Watoto Church, you're going to experience intense traffic jam along Magambo Road. So if I were you, I would actually follow the main road into Ntinda, because what I see here is that the entire stretch of Magambo Road, save for the start of it when you're coming from Chisasi, has intense traffic jam as it joins the Bukoto Ntinda Road. I would like to go behind again and see the situation on the main Ntinda Chisasi Road, and what I see, like I expected, there is smooth flow of traffic here because it seems like everyone is using Magambo Road as an alternate route. And still going with the Ntinda Chisasi Road, we have smooth flow of traffic here. So if I were you, I would use this route. Now within the heart of Ntinda, we are experiencing a bit of traffic jam around Chimera Road joins Ntinda Road, and this is also the part where you go to Stretcher Road, where I see a bit of traffic jam, and then I see some traffic jam that is coming through joining Stretcher Road from Ntinda 2 Road. It's rather intense, and following the Ntinda 2 Road, I would like to see where it connects from Bukoto and see if it is a good alternate route for you. And yeah, for the most part, Ntinda 2 Road actually has smooth flow of traffic, and Bukoto Road is bringing in some bit of traffic where Magambo Road connects to Ntinda Bukoto Road. This is the area that has Hardware World and Shell Bukoto. So here you're going to encounter intense traffic jam that is coming through from the side of Magambo Road. Also, if you're planning to use Magambo Road to go to the side of Chisasi, I would advise against it. Instead, you should use the main Ntinda Road to get to the side of Chisasi. But after that juncture, Ntinda Bukoto Road has smooth flow of traffic, and as we follow it into the areas of Bukoto, I see that you will only encounter traffic jam when you get to Chira Road. Here you might be losing some time, as I see that Bukoto Chisas Road is still bringing in intense traffic jam feeding into Chira Road. Well, that does it for our traffic update. Those coming in from Chisasi side, you might as well go direct to Ntinda traffic lights, then you connect to Bukoto, because the situation along Magambo Road, if you wanted to use it as an alternate route, doesn't look good at all. It is clogged with a traffic jam, and you might lose more time if you decide to pass that way. Ntinda 2 Road looks pretty good, so you can use that as well to connect to Stretcher Road to get into town. I'll be back tomorrow to share more traffic updates. For now, I say stick around, because Good Morning Uganda agenda is coming up next.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Uganda Manufacturers Association celebrates 30 years of industrial excellence. Come and be part of the 30th UMA International Trade Fair at Lugogo from the 2nd to the 10th of October. We celebrate 30 years of industrial excellence with an education pavilion, an agricultural pavilion, and a job skills development pavilion for job seekers. There will be lots of fun, entertainment, and business opportunities. Come and be part of this great journey and milestones. Entrance fee is only 10,000 shillings. If you want an exhibition stall, call +256 0703 552 444 or visit the UMA website, powered by Total Energies, Hisense, Smart Tech, and Stanbic Bank.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, Your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Amina gange ndi tubona kiranda Amina mu company Air Web Uganda Limited ndi member. Wemba member company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi nga abashala abe wakawaka. Abashala abe wakawaka tuwemera kubaami baife nga bonkana abajamu nandanga twidi nti abashala tibakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege nga abashala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki twafunamu ng'abakyala ababujiri district. Abakyala ababujiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eno eya web. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo, twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting abaharvestinga, twaba n'abakyala abakolaki aba marketing. Sector dona diri trained era didi kyedikola ki kyedikola. Project eno tufunyeemu ng'abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza okujja kujanga batulingirira mu ng'abakyala abana Uganda eri kujanga eturobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWeb, baleta parish development model, we have Myoga, byona biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Amanya gange bampito Doi Silva nze ndi musisi wa chapati wano zone 7 factory zone na Tete. Capital yali ntono nnyo nga teweze na mutwale 3. Kati sawa zino inafuna sente za PDM. Sente kati business egaziyemu ko katontono. Lwakola sumbusa mandazi kati byonna biwede nsiga za chapati. Edanga sinafuna sente nali nsevinganga 12 13 naye naku zino sevingako 15. Olusi nsevinga ne kanana nga maze okusasula bwenkozesa ndenyumiriza mu nnyo lwakuba ekyusizako bulamu bwange. Kati we nafuna agenda nengula akawo, nengula ngano, nengula buto, nengula amagi, nengula ne omunyo, nengula ebirala byenkozesa ale bingi ninagulamu era byanyamba nakyusa bulamu mpola mpola. Era waliwo enkyukakyuka nnyo. Nali sisobola kusasulira fees abaana naye saa zino mbasasulira kati bali kusomero basoma. Ne jensula nayo nsasulayo bulungi kati landlord tamaanyi takonkona ngenda ne musasulako mu budde nga tanamanja. Ne wano wenyini wenkolera era mukazi naye musasula. Ne yansisa nnyo government okumpa sente ezo ba PDM. Nange abavubuka mbakubiriza mugende bya PDM si bya bulimba. Waliwo abasinga bagamba tino ebyo sente bya bulimba tebagaba tebakyagaba sente. Government amasa sente we batyo biki nainga mbakakasa abavubuka banange sente bya ddala bagaba nze nalabako.
Amanya gange mpitibwa Busulwa Najibu nga nva mu factory zone na Tete parish. Business ya mukstoka nali sina kapito kaito yali omutono ebintu nga byalinya newe nafuna chairman wange era mwebaza nnyo yansanga waniranga bwendi nampandika nambuza ekibuzo nti onosobola okuzayo sente za parish model nti mbadde nsaba kuwandiika oli musajja mukozi nengamba chairman nja kusobola. Chairman yo nentambula naye tugenda mu kungana ezasooka mbandi bannange benagenda nabo ne bampa obukulembeze mu kusooka. Bukiiko bwasooka wansi enzija bwentyo nga banyongera obukiiko mpola mpola okutuuka we tutuuse wano okutuuka lwe nafuna ssente ne nnyongeramu ebitono by'essayina era nnyinako bizinesi wange obuwero akatali kano atali kamu. Si wano wokka kuba parish za njawulo ewamu bisobola okugaana ne ŋŋamba kati kano kenfunyeeyo kaŋŋende nkolemu ekirala naye nga si ke kano kokka. Kano jasi nayongeramu bwongezi ayina akatini ne nnyongeramu ekifuuka ekinene nenyo atalina kapito ku dduuka nalinja ebintu bya bbanja nsasula mmaze kukola ne kati kapito wange waali nkola era katona buli naye sifuna naye kati nfunako. Wano nayawuzaamu nenteekawo 5 nenfunayo era akawala ke nateekamu 5 agasigalawo nenyongera mu kapito yali agula amanda ag'5 kati nenyongera nengula ag'omutwalo bwe nti era buli kimu nga bwe kitambula mu bizinensi. Amagoba olunaku osobola ofisa amagoba agogumu ekitundu ag'ebiri nogamba kano ng'engeri gye nnyina sako kankateeke mu sako yange eya parish modern Nateete. Nebaza nnyo kiyamaani wange kubeera senga teyaliye kano ka program saali kategedde era naye ayitawo wano Bwanda awenkola emirimu gyange ebitambula bulungi ne twogera n'abakulembeze bannange betukulembera Nateete PDM.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to Uplift Official. Today's video is particularly important as we delve into natural ways to support cancer prevention. While there's no guaranteed method to prevent cancer, incorporating certain lifestyle choices can contribute to overall well-being and potentially lower the risk. So, let's jump into the top 10 natural ways to support cancer prevention. Number 1. Maintain a healthy diet. Fill your plate with a rainbow of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. These nutrient-packed foods provide antioxidants and essential nutrients that support overall health. Next up is regular exercise. Engage in activities you enjoy, whether it's walking, jogging, or dancing. Exercise not only helps maintain a healthy weight, but also boosts your immune system and promotes overall well-being. Number 3. Maintain a healthy weight. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial. Excess weight, especially around the abdomen, is linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. Aim for a balanced diet and regular physical activity to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. Number 4. Quit smoking and avoid tobacco. If you're a smoker, one of the most impactful steps you can take is to quit. Smoking is a major risk factor for several cancers. Avoiding exposure to tobacco, including secondhand smoke, is equally important. Number 5. Limit alcohol consumption. Moderation is key when it comes to alcohol. Limit your intake to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 drinks per day for men. Excessive alcohol consumption is associated with an increased risk of certain cancers. Number 6. Protect yourself from the sun. Protecting yourself from the sun is crucial for preventing skin cancer. Use sunscreen, wear protective clothing, and avoid prolonged sun exposure, especially during peak hours. Number 7. Stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is often overlooked, but plays a vital role in overall health. Drink an adequate amount of water daily, and limit sugary drinks and excessive caffeine intake. Number 8. Manage stress. Stress management is essential. Practice techniques such as meditation, yoga, or deep breathing exercises to reduce stress levels. Chronic stress can have a negative impact on the immune system. Number 9. Regular health checkups. Regular health checkups and screenings are crucial. Detecting potential issues early can significantly improve outcomes. Don't skip your scheduled appointments with healthcare professionals. Last, but certainly not least, prioritize sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Adequate sleep is essential for overall health and may support a healthy immune system. And there you have it, our top 10 natural ways to support cancer prevention. Remember, these lifestyle choices contribute to overall well-being, but they're not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and share it with your loved ones. Thanks for joining us today, and I'll see you in the next video.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, Good Morning Uganda continues with the agenda. Thank you for being with us. I'm Olive Monica Najuma. Now, Uganda Manufacturers Association is celebrating 30 years of existence, and the International Trade Fair will be starting on October 2nd up until October 10th. That is why we are here today to know more about the stalls, the tickets, but also the new technologies that are going to be on display when it comes to the International Trade Fair. For students, they will enjoy a lot of moving around and looking out and checking out many stalls, because there will also be different activities taking place at the trade fair. But for the business community, for the manufacturers, for the traders, it will be an opportunity for many. But I will not get into the details because I have someone that has the authority to tell us what exactly is going to happen on which days, which activities. Do we expect some entertainment, but for the business community, networking opportunities, products, and to mention but a few. And I'm joined by Stuart Mwesigwa, who is the Corporate Affairs Manager at Roofings Uganda Limited. Now, if you didn't know, Roofings Uganda Limited has been part of the Uganda Manufacturers Association for the last 30 years. So as a member, he has the moral authority and the professional authority to be here and tell us more about the International Trade Fair that is taking place next month. Thank you for joining me once again. I had you last week and I'm excited to continue this conversation today.
I'm happy to be here again, and thank you for welcoming me. UBC, we thank you for being the media for the nation, and you continue broadcasting. Once again, my names are Jason Stuart Mwesigwa, working with the Roofings Group for almost 2 decades now. So I can celebrate 20 years of service as UMA is celebrating 30 years of existence, and Roofings 30 years also of being in the region serving the best quality steel and plastics products for construction purposes. Good morning once again, our viewers, and of course our loyal customers. If it wasn't for the loyalty of the Ugandan citizens, the loyalty of the East African region, Roofings wouldn't be the strength of the nation. Roofings wouldn't be a member of Uganda Manufacturers Association. So I want to believe that this success is intertwined between ourselves, the Ugandan citizens who embraced and supported Roofings, who have been loyal to Roofings. We, the Ugandans, who sat down and thought, if I think of people like the late Mulwana, Mzee Agase Kalala, Mzee Wavamuno, and others who sat together and said, we want this together better. They put their brains together to make sure, of course, I'm not forgetting my chairman, Dr. Lalani, who put their brains together to ensure that when manufacturers come together, think together, work together, lobby together, we can be a strong association. We can have the voice to the government. Of course, we thank the government which created this enabling environment. The last 30 years, all of us have seen how improvements in terms of security, investments, job opportunities, adoption to evolving technologies, all these kind of things which have made us have a center stage, even in as far as the East African region is concerned, or Africa as a continent. So we are proud to invite you, our viewers, the show goers, the exhibitors, those who haven't registered, please come and take up whatever small space that could still be there. Come, we celebrate with you 30 years of existence of Uganda Manufacturers Association, 30 years of roofing's existence in Uganda as the strength of the nation and the region at large. And of course, our country will also be celebrating the 62nd independence in that week of 2nd to 10th October 2024. You are welcome.
Now, a quick one.
Yes.
Since you said you have been with roofings for the last 20 years, is your relationship with roofings as strong as their products?
Very strong. Actually, I want to tell you something that is real, but maybe a bit laughable.
Yes.
Many people, when I'm asking, which Stuart, then they say, Stuart, oh, roofings, you know, it's now roofing is like my second name, and I'm proud to be associated with a brand that is a winning brand, and I don't think we are not happy also as roofings to be members of Uganda Manufacturers Association, because this is a growing association, it is a strong association, and supporting industrialization. Without industrialization, there's no way we are going to achieve the middle income status.
I hear you on that. Now, I understand that the trade fair started in Mbale with the focus on technology and innovations. Would you mind telling us more about that?
One thing I would love to say is that the trade fair, yes, started in Mbale focusing on technology because manufacturing, value addition, industrialization, mobility, name it, even communication. We can see that it's being driven by technology advancement. Yes, Mbale is one thing, but we are having regional fairs in order to try and create awareness, spread this information to a number of Ugandans, and also sometimes we participate beyond the borders. But we have had fairs in Mbale. All these are annual events, actually. In Mbale, in Lugogo, it is annual, and also in Mbarara, we have also tried Gulu, and chance allowing, the way now we are having so many other industrial parks, industrial hubs, skilling centers, agricultural developments in different areas of the country, manufacturing. We will continue spreading these fairs to a number of parts in the Ugandan part of the East African region.
And I like that because when they are only limited to Kampala, many people, many stakeholders are left out of the loop. But now, if you spread them out into different regions in the country, then everyone gets a chance to, one, partake in the exhibitions, but also the manufacturers and other exhibitors get a chance to showcase whatever products that they may have. Now, we have been joined by Maggie Katasi, who is the Communications Officer, Uganda Manufacturers Association. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to you too.
How are you?
Well, thank you. Good morning to our viewers this morning. Like I'm introduced, my name is Maggie Katasi and I'm from Uganda Manufacturers Association.
All right, Maggie, what in your perspective makes this year's International Trade Fair a unique event that Ugandans must attend?
For starters, we are celebrating 30 years. 30 years is not a small number. In the 30 years, there are so many things that happen. Of course, you have successes, there are challenges, but how do you maneuver through all these challenges? 30 years, each and every trade fair, we have so many different things that happen. This time round, we have 3 basic things that I can tell you. They are not only the ones, but basic. In that, we've introduced the Industrial Education Pavilion. If I talk about Industrial Education Pavilion, we've all been to school.
Yes.
We've been taught political science.
Of course.
But has someone ever taught you about industrial education?
No.
Has it ever been there as a course unit?
I don't remember it.
Please. So come to UMA. One of the things we have is Industrial Education Pavilion. You've heard Mr. Mwesgwa here telling you about roofings. Come and meet people like him. Come and meet people who were there before him. Come, let's listen to their story. They have a story to tell out there. They are going to, they are the people in the position to tell you how this whole thing began. What is manufacturing? You know, how do industries come about? We do not know. We just imagine things just happen one day at a time and then, boom, a factory is there. No, it takes more than that. And it is only people who've been there who can tell you what happens, okay? We have what we've called Job Link. You know, in Uganda, there are so many challenges with jobs, I can tell you. This time around, we've come up with something we've called Job Link Connect. Which people do you want to connect to the jobs? We have people who've gone to school. We have people who've never gone to school. We have people who have skills. We have people who have the energy. And in the factories, Mr. Mwesgwa will tell you, they take all kinds of people. They take those who've gone to school. They take those who've not gone to school. They take those who are energetic. They take also those who could do a bit of a sweeping, you know. That is one of the things we do. And the thing, it's very simple. People have paid lots of money to go outside Uganda to look for jobs. Some have been, their man has been stolen. Others have never gone. Others have no passport, all that. So this time round, what are we telling you? We are telling you come to the UMA showgrounds from the 10th from the 2nd to the 10th of October. The thing is very easy. You are going to go to our website, which is www.woma.org.ug. And when you get there, what are you going to do? You are going to download a form. When you download this form, fill in your basic information, whether you've gone to school, whether you've not gone to school. Okay? And when you get that form, what you're going to do, you're going to take your passport size photograph, put it on the form, and you bring the form to us. Now, when you get there, no one is going to ask you to pay any money for getting a job. We are connecting people who need the jobs to the factories that need the workers. And in this case, no one will ever tell you pay for a job. You do not have money for starters. Where are you going to get the money to pay? So when you get that form, fill it in, bring it. If you cannot write, please remember, if you cannot write, get this form, bring it to us. We shall help you. We are going to have people on our desk who are going to help you fill in all the details. One thing you must come with is your national ID so that we can get your basic details and we help you. You are going to leave this form with us and we shall be letting you know when these employers are ready to take you up. At Uganda Manufacturers Association, we have a whole department, which is called the training department. We are ready to train. We are so ready to train each and every person who happens to come. Okay? We are not promising that we are going to get you jobs there and then, though there are those that are ready. But bring in your papers. You never know where your luck is on that particular day.
That's right.
So that is one other thing within the education pavilion.
Within. So let me still get more clarification on the education pavilion.
Yes.
These forms that are printed off the Uganda Manufacturers Association website are supposed to be brought to the education, what did you call it?
Industrial Education Pavilion.
Yes. So
there's going to be a desk specifically for that.
Specifically
yes, we are
for
going to mark these places so that a person cannot get lost, you know. The education pavilion is going to be there, but within it's going to be a big tent where different people are going to take up space for different things. So in that, we are going to have that place specifically designed for people who are bringing in their applications.
Okay. And you did say that these jobs are for different sectors.
Yes.
So it's not that you must be an engineer, that these jobs are only for engineers. Even me, a journalist, I can come.
You can come. We need people to communicate out there. We need people to know that
Yes.
factories are working.
Yes.
We need people to know that these factories employ people. We need people to know that, yes, once in a while, they also have challenges.
All right.
So, and within that, you will be able to report positively.
Okay. There is that. Did you have to?
No, sometimes we don't report exactly what is there, but in this case,
yes, we
must report because you have seen.
Yes.
So still under this trade fair, we have something we've called Agriculture Pavilion.
Yes.
What is in the Agriculture Pavilion? It's one thing that you must ask yourself, and you must be forced to come to see what is in this Agriculture Pavilion. Have you ever seen a goat producing like 10 kids? Have you? So this is one place where you're going to see all these things happening. Of course, we brought the different
Maggie,
people.
we are talking about manufacturers, Uganda Manufacturers Association,
Yes.
and then you're talking about agriculture. How do the two marry together?
Manufacturers,
Yes.
they produce medicines
Yes.
that treat the animals.
Oh, the animals. Okay.
But even in the animal products, there's manufacturing.
They do foods for the
Yes.
animals.
Yes. Okay.
So there are things that we can never skip.
No, the
They
reason why
always-
I asked is because a viewer out there could be saying, okay, trade fair,
Yes.
agriculture tent, I don't understand that bit. So it's important for us to have an understanding of why these different tents or different exhibitors are going to be at the trade fair.
Like you asked, and a viewer may not know exactly what happens.
Yes.
But manufacturing does not only mean steel, you know. Manufacturing encompasses lots of things, you know. Like I've just given you a scenario where they produce medicines, where they produce foods. It is these manufacturers who come together and they say, you know what, there is this need for this. How can we get it out? And these trade fairs, they do not only bring manufacturers together, but they bring lots and lots of people, you know. And through these trade fairs, that is when we get to learn that, oh, in the Kuma trade fair, I happen to see this. I happen to find these people. How can I get their contacts? How can I be in touch with them? How can they be of help to me? Basically, that is why trade fairs come, for people to show what they are doing out there and how people can get all this information and products as well.
Okay.
So in the Agriculture Pavilion, we are going to be there. There are going to be lots of people who are doing value addition, you know, people who have brought in new things on the market or new products on the market. If you're a farmer, how are you going to add value to your product? You know, come learn. Let's embrace the spirit of learning. You know, we never learn. Even if we may learn, but we never implement. So come learn, come implement what you've learned.
How to implement.
You know?
Okay.
So we have so many things, by the way, and one, but not the least, the
If I
pavilion.
might add on what she's saying,
Yes.
We are talking agriculture. For example, if I take Jessa, they are farming. They are in animal beef fattening, milk products. It's agriculture, but they are doing value addition, and that turns them into manufacturing.
That's right.
If I take my friend Bella Wine, she could be talking growing of grapes, apples, hibiscus, and then it is eventually converted into wine. That is manufacturing, but coming from agriculture.
That's right.
There are people doing fruits, passion fruits, mangoes,
That's why
oranges,
Splash.
yes, Splash, and all these soft drinks that we are having around. It is a process that is one leading to another, and I think here the main thing is actually creating that awareness and encouraging people that it is possible. We are talking about getting jobs. Yes, that's one thing, because that's where the demand for a lot of youth are. They have qualified in different fields, they have graduated here and there, they want to be engaged so that they don't become idle and disorderly. This is where they're going to get that information of where they can be placed. You were talking about the communication people, the media. There's no manufacturing entity, there's no corporate organization that doesn't have a communication department. You can get your opportunity from there. From UBC, from reporting positively about roofings or any other entity, you can easily hook a job.
Yes.
But as well, for the good of our country, if you come and see and get to be informed of exactly what is happening in a certain process, in some skilling affairs that we are encouraging the youth to come and see and take on courses, you are building the country. So this country we are building together in different ways. That's the more reason why we need to spend this time from 2nd up to 10th of October. Much as we are celebrating independence, we are celebrating UMA's 30 years of existence, 30 years of roofing's existence, but as well we are learning. And when we go back, we become ambassadors. We impart this information to others. We will see quality products. We will benchmark with the international trade fair exhibitors who are coming to bring in, I think there's some team coming from South Korea. There will be very many from Kenya and the other countries. We will benchmark with them. But as well, they will also benchmark with us, because we are Uganda. We are in a country which is gifted by nature. Our weather is so good. If you talk agriculture, we have the best foodstuffs. Pineapples, our excellence has always been talking about the sweet pineapples grown here in
and
Uganda.
Also Uganda's
our matoke.
Yes.
You know, all these natural things. But as well, when we talk of value addition for these manufactured products, if we talk about the shirts, which even still our HE likes saying, I'm putting on a shirt made in Uganda, Bubu. Yes, fine spinners, they're doing great work. I've seen their t-shirts in the US. They are selling. If you talk about roofing products, quality #1, conforming to international standards. Our people are getting value for money. If you talk milk products, if you talk, name it. I think Uganda is the investment destination. Even those who are out there should look at coming into Uganda and invest here. But as well, we the local people who don't have what to do yet, we know that it is possible. SMEs are being supported. There are a number of things you'll get to know from UMA. For example, I am aware there are funds that are there to support women. If you go to private sector foundation, or if you come to UMA, if you go to the Chamber of Commerce, there are funds that can support women as startup businesses. There are funds to support the youth as startup businesses. I will not forget to mention, Bunyoro now is hot cake for Uganda, for the world, because of oil. Go to Hoima, you can invest in anything, whether it is growing tomatoes, whether it is putting up a hospitality industry. Tourism is also in that side, which is a catch-21 for making money. Tourism, there's a lot of money. Our roads have been worked on. So with that kind of progress, I don't see the reason why you can't come and we celebrate 30 years of Uganda Manufacturers Association, 30 years of roofings, 30 years of our government, which has created
30 years of industrial excellence.
Yes, 30 years of industrial excellence, which we are all of us enjoying, and we are looking forward to another 30 years.
All right, 30
Yes.
years of industrial excellence. Now, Maggie, when we talk about industrial excellence, let's talk about innovations for a bit. I'm curious to know what innovations exhibitors will be bringing to the event that will signal Uganda's future as far as industrialization is concerned.
Wow. Now, like we said, it is an international trade fair. Before I even continue with that, you heard him talk about the regional trade fairs.
Yes.
Those we've had. And this time round, we went to Mbale from the 14th to 23rd of June. So we were in Mbale. And what were we doing there? Our theme was Buy Uganda, Build Uganda, Bobo. Why did we have that? It's because we want people to understand our products. We've had people out there say that our products are not good enough, but I can assure you that is not true. We have quality products, and that is why we want people in the different regions to get to know about these products, and they get to believe that these products are done here. Many people imagine we always import these products,
we have is
which is
imported.
not true. Let's have a different mindset concerning our products. And when we do change that, we shall be in better position to build our economy. Still, we are going to be going to the Western region, that is in Barra, from the 17th to the 23rd of December. Why did we do that? Because we don't want to burden people. We want people in Kampala who normally buy the things not to buy in Kampala. This time round, come and find them in your region. Save some time, save that transport, save that luggage that you would take to Mbarara. So please be there. We shall be communicating and we shall come back to UBC to inform them about that that other trade fair that will be coming.
That will happen in December.
Now, to your questions, what innovations do we have this time round? Like I told you, it is an international trade fair, so we expect different international people to come showcase what they have for us. I'm not a manufacturer, so I may not be in position to tell you that, oh, we have this, all that. It is them to do what? To tell you that, you know what, this time round we have this and this and this on the market.
So the only way to find out
is to come
go to the event.
Come to the trade fair.
Yes.
We shall be there from the 2nd to the 10th.
How much is the entrance, and if I buy my ticket, is it an all access to every stall, and is it all access for all the days from 2nd to 10th? Please explain that.
Well, entrance is only 10,000 shillings for all adults and children, apart from breastfeeding children. Those are free of charge. It is going to be 10,000 per day. For all the days you'd want to come, it will be 10,000 only. Gates open from 7 to 11:59.
Wow.
So those who will be busy at work, please come. You still have time to meet these exhibitors. Now, yes, your ticket gives you access to all the people who are within the grounds, to people who are within the multipurpose hall. So all those your ticket gives you access to all those places. And it is a one-day ticket. It is not.
So you don't buy a ticket for 2nd and expect to use it even on the 10th?
On the 10th, no. But what I can tell you, this time round as we are celebrating, we are also giving back to the community. We have lots and lots of gifts to give away. For starters, we already have about 4 border borders. That will be one each and every day from the 2nd to the 10th. We have presents to give away. We have a land title. Wouldn't you want to own your own home?
A land title.
Yes, we are celebrating, and so we are giving back to the community.
Okay.
You know, you never know.
Are these going to be raffle draws? Which activities will enable people to win these prizes?
Right now, there are some TV stations and radio stations where you can call in. They take down your details and then we put you in the raffle draw.
Okay.
We are on our trucks. We have people who are on the streets. They are selling raffle draws, and the raffle draw is only 2,000. Can you imagine getting a boda 2,000 shillings? Can you imagine in this Uganda?
This could be your lucky day, by the way.
Please come, buy that raffle. And it is real. We have mattresses, we have pillowcases, we have products from Moviti, we have, like I mentioned, we have the boda bodas already. We have so many things. We have things from Mukwano group of companies. We have things from Jessa, we have the milk. Have you tasted their new juice?
The one in a bottle.
I think even Total Energy, Total Energies is also giving out some free fuel. You can win fuel for a year, for a month.
Oh, fuel for a year.
Yes.
Maybe at this time, allow me to appreciate our sponsors who've really been on board. We have Total Energies. I'll start with Total Energy. Thank you so much for supporting Kuma for all these years. We start with Roofings.
The platinum sponsor, yes.
Okay.
With Roofings, we thank you so much. Smart Tech, thank you for standing with us. Professor Bayo, you've heard about him. He's with us. B Nzika, he's come on board. Tembo Steels, Integrated, all these have come on board to celebrate with us the 30 years of existence. And he was talking about Bela Wine. Bela Wine is a part of us.
And it's important to note that all these sponsors that have come on board will also be exhibiting their products when at the international fair. So make it a point to be there and also buy a ticket. Now, as we close, Maggie, please tell us how we can access the tickets. Where do we get them?
You are going to get your ticket at the Uma Showgrounds. Uma Showgrounds is in Nakawa. Okay, if you're in town, the tax is only 1,000 shillings or a border. You are not going to get a ticket anywhere apart from Uma Showgrounds. We are working with a company that is going to be issuing out the tickets that very day. So no one is going to tell you bought a ticket yesterday and it's still working. No.
So you can only get that day, you use it that day.
Yes.
Okay, so don't buy a ticket and keep it to use it on Friday. When you buy it, that's when you should access the grounds, visit all the stores that you want, and there will be activities taking place. Will there be entertainment?
Definitely.
Because Ugandans love entertainment.
We have nightlife, we have day life.
Okay.
Day life is basically for students like me, because we need to be home by 5:30. So adults like the two
like him.
we have lots of entertainers, the people that you love most. Can I mention one?
Okay.
Fire Baby. So whoever loves Fire Baby, that is a place for you to be. We have Amarula Production, the comedians, and you know how long they've been in the industry.
Yes.
So please be a part of us. It's a place for you to be. Save that date, join us, come learn. Come discover, you know?
Come learn, come discover. That's my takeaway, and that's where we will end our conversation. Make it a point to buy a ticket at the showgrounds. Please note, don't buy tickets anywhere else. Buy them at the gate. You buy the ticket, you enter. You don't buy the ticket and say, I'll use it tomorrow. I've been speaking to Maggie Katasi, who is the communications officer at Uganda Manufacturers Association, and also the corporate affairs manager, Roofings Uganda Limited, the strength of the nation, Stuart Mwesigwa. And together we have been delving into the Uma at 30, Uganda Manufacturers Association at 30. The trade fair starts on 2nd to the 10th of October 2024. Well, I'm Olive Monica Najuma. Good Morning Uganda continues. Up next is Good Morning Uganda Sports Updates. Stick with us.
Thank you.